Yo guys, good evening, and good evening. Hey Abib, good evening. How you doing, man?
Good evening, Mano. I'm good, and you? Hope today wasn't too hectic at work.
Ah, bro, I wish I could say it wasn't hectic, but the truth is, it was. Yo
Yeah,
guys,
sorry,
good
man.
evening, good
And
evening,
good evening, everyone.
good evening.
It's good to be back
Hey
and
Abib,
to
good
have you
evening.
guys
How
on.
you doing? Yeah, right. It's feels nice to be back here, and hack Wednesday. I'm still shocked, honestly speaking. Like, just realizing this is episode 3, season 2, right? Like, and this started like as a very casual conversation, right? But here we
Yeah,
are doing the Lord's work, right?
yeah, you could put it that way as well. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I think my internet is perfect now. And yeah. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm trying. Okay, sorry guys, I had to switch my network, right? So you must have experienced a short break in audio and probably video. Sorry about that. Yeah, so happy. Let's just start by asking, how have you been? How have you been?
yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, been good so far, and just taking it a day at a time. And what about you?
Yeah, I would say I've been busy, right? Been juggling a lot, right? But yeah, the kind of busy I enjoy. So yeah, and some
Yeah,
very very sweet penetration testing engagement that I've embarked upon since the last episode, right? It has. So
yeah,
yeah, I would say like I'm very happy with myself right now because of some nice exploits that I discovered in the last
yeah, guys.
in the last
hmm
engagement. Yeah, so yeah.
Of course, kudos to you. I mean, guys, Emmanuel did exceptionally,
No, this
over
is
over
Habib.
the roof
This is this is
with the
Habib trying
engagements we
to
had last.
blackmail me. No, Habib. Habib, you've done way
Nah,
better than that. Stop that, please. You've done more cool stuff than
nah,
that.
nah. Seriously, singly handled like a mobile pen test engagement, and
Okay.
basically helped the client like uncover a bunch of exploits that could have been taken advantage of by attackers. But thanks to Emmanuel, he was able to help the client, and we're all proud of him.
Oh, thank you,
So a
thank
big
you,
shout out to him for his
thank you.
efforts.
I'm blushing right now. I wish maybe we should
Yeah,
start putting our face on this stream. But I don't know. I don't know yet, but maybe we might start doing that. But right now, I'm feeling shy. Habib is very whiny
nah,
for our Nigerian audience. I'm
no,
sure you
no,
guys understand what that means. Habib can whine. You guys don't believe anything
no.
Habib is saying.
I'm actually not sugarcoating like everything I said. It's genuine. So
All right.
kudos to Emmanuel.
Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate. But I've seen you do cool
No,
stuff, man.
don't mention
I've
it.
seen you do like
Nah,
some stuff, but these are secrets we'll probably take to our grave. So,
yeah, yeah. That's another thing, of course.
yeah,
Uh, all
yeah.
right. So
Okay, so yeah, episode 3. The last time we spoke about exploiting API endpoints using documentation, and we're able to carry out the lab. So we are going to be picking on up from where we stopped. Okay, so I'm just going to click on continue button here, and we are going to we are going to be starting from using machine readable documentation, right? But before then, right, let's just do a quick introduction for the sake of those who might just be joining us for the very first time. Okay, so hello guys, my name is Emmanuel Akobe Ajibolu, right? And I am a penetration tester at Cyber Plural, a managed security service provider here in the city of Abuja. I am a very happy and proud Nigerian, right? And I'm also proud of my faith. I'm a happy and proud Christian. And yeah, I enjoy extreme stuff, anything that is adventurous. It's, I enjoy it. Right. Yeah, so for those who might not know what cyber plural is or who we are and what a managed security service provider is, right? So cyber plural is a cyber security company, and we do everything and anything cyber security, from offensive security down to defensive security to governance, risks and compliance, and everything and anything cybersecurity. Yeah, so if you want to do set up your firewall, you want to test your mobile app, you want to test your API, whatever type of testing it is, please feel free to contact us, and we're always happy to help as much as we can. Right, and yes, with me on this call is my wonderful colleague, my very very humble colleague, Habib. Habib, you can introduce yourself, please.
Okay, so thank you very much for that, Manu. So I'm just gonna, cut to the chase, and I am also a penetration tester here at Cyberblur. And, you know, just like Manu said, we do everything cybersecurity at Cyberblur here, and I'm pretty much someone who likes, I would say, like, things that are technical, I guess. And I always, or I would say, like, I'm mostly interested in uncovering, security flaws and helping organizations, test your security posture and then provide remediation as well. And I do that alongside Mano here with me. So that's just a brief overview, of who I am. So we'll end over to Mano, and so we can get right into today's, session. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but before we do that, please feel free to reach out to us at hello@cyberplural.com, and we can pick up conversation for that from there. And for those who might want to know more about us, you could go to cyberplural.com. As you can see on my screen now, this is our website, and you could send us a message from the contact us session. Okay, so just come. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Contact. Yeah. Yes. So come here, fill this form, and shoot us a mail. We'll be more than happy to respond to you. Or you could send us an email here. You could call us on this phone number. It is active 24/7, and this is our office address for those who might want to come physically to our office. Yeah. So back to business, but before then, big shout out to the management of Cyber Plural for giving us this opportunity, for allowing us to be naughty on the company's YouTube page. So big shout out to you guys. I appreciate the privilege.
Yep. Shout out to the management. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, Habib. So, yes, when I was introducing us, Habib, right, when I talk about
Yeah.
offensive security, defensive security, and GLC, so like recently on the think board, right, at the office,
Yeah.
Ade, I'm going to call you out on stream, Ade, in case you are there listening. Ade wrote that GLC is better than offensive security. I told him to watch his back because I can't believe somebody would think that. Like, bro, Do you know who we
Is
are?
it? Yeah, yeah. I think I saw that. Like, you
Bro,
mentioned that GRC is the coolest
yeah. I'm like, bro,
niche.
GRC the coolest. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, you should come over to the red side
Don't
or
mind
the
him.
offensive side of
He
things.
should come to the winning side. Let him experience just a bit of what we're experiencing. He's going to
Yeah,
rethink that.
definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
So Ade, if you are
Sure.
seeing this, please. This is, I told you I was going to retaliate in the way you do not expect. Yes. So I'm going to put this out to the world to see, to hear. All right. All
Sure.
right. Yeah. So now to what we have to do today. So using machine readable documentation. Okay. So let me read from here and then Habib continues. So you can use a range of automated tools to. Okay. I think maybe we should have like a quick recap of what we've done,
Yeah, for
just
sure.
for the sake of those who might be joining us for the very first time, right? So yeah,
Yep.
I'm going to put Habib on the spot. So Habib, please help us do a quick recap.
All right. Okay, let's do that real quick. So, over the past two episodes, we've looked at what APIs, what is an API basically, and the full definition of API is programming interface. What it basically does is that it delivers a user's response to the system, and then it sends the system's response back to you know, to the user. So you can think of it like as a waiter or a waitress in a restaurant that takes your order and takes it to the back room to get your food prepared, and then it brings it over to you once that is done. So that's just a high level overview of what an API is. And then we looked at how we could use API documentations to exploit, flaws within the design of an API. Emmanuel walked us through, how we could do that basically hands-on with the lab, and with we were basically able to exploit one of the top 10 API vulnerabilities called BAFLA, which is BFLA, which stands for Broken Function Level Authorization. This is one of the most prevalent vulnerabilities that APIs are susceptible to, and this is a kind of vulnerability that a user of a privilege level is able to access the API functionality of another user group or privilege level. So an example of that is basically what Emmanuel did in last episode, which we were able to delete another user's account from the account that we owned, and this is just a very good example of baffler. So that was where we stopped last episode, and now we're gonna pick up from where we stopped, which is here, essentially. Uh, we're gonna go deeper into how we can use, API documentations to further find exploits and other things like parameters that we mentioned in the first episode. And yeah, so I'll hand over to Manuel to pick up from here. All right.
Oh, thank you, Habib. I mean, you've said it all. You've said it all, man. So yeah, I mean,
All right.
there's
Thank you.
nothing left for me to add. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right.
to today's business, right, using machine readable documentation, you can use a range of automated tools to analyze any machine readable API documentation that you find, right? So yeah, you also want to hunt not just for user documentation. There are cases where you might not find human readable documentation, and what you have is machine readable documentation, right? So yeah, you also want to hunt for
Yeah.
that just to be on a safe side, right? I think that's the word.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so so you don't. No, I'm not going to crack this joke on air. Let me not crack this joke on air. Okay, so
All right.
you can use Bob Scanner to crawl and audit Open API documentation or any other documentation in JSON or YAML formats. right? You can also pass Open API documentation using the Open API parser B app. Okay, you may also be able to use a specialized tool to test the documented endpoints such as Postman or SOAP UI. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, basically, this is just talking about searching for documentation, right? And I believe we tried as much as possible to address this in the previous episode, right? That if we can lay out understand what endpoints are available, what functions are intended, and possible ways of making the endpoints do things that are not intended, and probably take advantage of some of those endpoints, right? So yeah, just like we said, you don't want to limit yourself to searching for human readable endpoint alone. You also want to search for machine readable endpoint, and some possible tools that you could use for these. You could use Bob Scanner, right? And you can also use you can also pass OpenAPI documentation using OpenAPI parser B app, right? So for those who might not know what this is, let me quickly bring my Bob suits up, and we are going to check the B app store for OpenAPI parser, right? Just so our audience can visualize it. Okay, so yep. All right. Next, so Bob Community Edition. I'm not sure if this is actually available on the Community Edition, but let's see. And for some weird reason, my Bob is loading forever. It's taking forever to load.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Burp. I think it's pretty much resource intensive. So
Yeah, I mean, crazy things happen on stream. I'm not going to lie. Like, whenever you're sharing
yeah,
your screen
yeah,
or projecting, like, it's just like there seems to be a force. Okay, it's opened on my other screen, so I'm going to bring it up here.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so this is Bob Suit for
yeah,
those who might not know. This is one of the greatest most underrated tool in the history of web
yeah,
application and mobile application pen test.
yeah. it's
Okay.
it's goated basically.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. So yeah, you come to extensions, and then you come to B App Store, right? And then you can search from here. So I'm just going to search. So I'm going to copy the name so it doesn't look like I'm doing magic. So right click, copy, and then come back here and right click and paste. Okay, that is not working. So Control V. Ha! Oh no, where are you? Pasa, yeah, where are you? Oh no. Yes, here it is. Open API Pasa. Yep. So
Yeah,
this is it. Yeah, it doesn't require Bob Professional
professional version.
installation, right? And you can see, the rating is not the best, but I mean, and
I mean,
let's check how. I don't think it's resource intensive. It's not. I don't think it's resource demanding. But I mean, I can't see. Okay, yeah, I've seen it. Low memory is low,
it's low.
CPU
Yeah,
is low. Yeah, so don't be scared of it eating up your resource. So yeah, all you have to do is click on install. Yep, and you will have the extension which you can then use in the future. You're welcome. Okay, so let's continue, right? Okay, so identifying API documentations. Okay, so we spoke about documentation, briefly introduced documentation. But yeah, I mean, not everybody is totally comfortable and familiar with documentation. So, how do we identify? I'm sorry, what am I saying? How do we identify API endpoints, not documentation? Sorry, guys. Identifying an API endpoint, right? So someone might want to ask, what exactly do we mean by API endpoints? Abib, do you want to talk about that before we jump into the material? We should just read first.
Yeah, sorry, for sure. Uh, okay, so regarding what an API documentation is, it's
Oh,
basically
sorry,
like a URL
I made a
that,
mistake. Endpoints, not documentation.
oh, yeah,
Endpoints.
sorry, yeah, regarding like what an API endpoint is, it's essentially like a URL that represents like a particular resource or function within the API, basically. So let's say you have like, in the documentation, you could have an endpoints like users, you know, emphasis on the plural, basically. So the user's endpoint is a specific resource, or I would say like it's a specific URL, like the full path. Let's say the full path for the user's endpoint is API. It's forward slash API slash users. Then that is essentially a specific URL that identifies the user's um, resource. So that's just an example of or a definition of what an API endpoint is. I don't know if Emmanuel, you want to add more or something to that.
Yeah, I think you've done justice to the explanation, right? Yeah, yeah. You know, Abib is a better teacher than me, so once Abib explains something, who am I to
No,
to further explain?
no, come on.
Okay. So yeah, we actually have somebody joining us for the first time. So hello, Peter Friday. It's really nice to have you join us. Right, I just quickly want to check the comment section. Right, so we're happy to have you, Peter, and
Yep.
please permit our unprofessionalism. Right, the whole purpose of Hackwenes is to make
Yeah,
it as
welcome, Peter.
casual as possible. Yeah. So please don't be too surprised that these guys are very unprofessional. Okay, yeah, I mean we also have some recurring users. We have Alan, we have Amarachi, Julia, and I was hoping Ade would be in the comment section, but I can't see him. Maybe he's feeling. Maybe I think I've won the war.
You threw
Okay.
in the white flag.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's get back to business, right? So identifying API endpoints, you can also gather a lot of information by browsing applications that use the API. Okay, so this is often worth doing even if you have access to API documentation, as sometimes documentation may be inaccurate or out of date. Yes, yes, and yes. I was about to. I love this, right? And I think it's something we need to maybe spend a minute or two explaining, right? So, in as much as in previous episode we explained that documentation is key, documentation is going to save your life, documentation is going to help you um, is going to make your life easy, right? It's also important for us to understand that documentation is not always accurate, right? Sometimes a developer or the dev team might be saying something, and they might have what they expect the endpoint to be doing, right? but the endpoint might be doing something else. Yeah, I think I've seen this a couple of times, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
there
Yeah.
might be ways to abuse an endpoint. So it's very important for us to also test endpoints, right? It's not just get stop at API documentation, right? You want to, and then sometimes, right, you even want to manually search for endpoints, right? Because yeah, if you get the Swagger file or the JSON file, right, that might just help you automatically import um, all the documentation, all the endpoints in quotes, right, to your postman, right? But then, what if the documentation is not up to date, right? In fact, there have been on a couple of engagement, and then like there's no documentation, right? You have to go and
Yeah.
start mapping things out manually, forcing for possible endpoint and stuff, right? So yeah, um, as an ethical hacker, as a penetration tester, as a bug bounty hunter, right? It's not just we don't just stop at okay, now we have documentation, so we have everything we need, right? It's also important that you still take the time to check out for things, right? If there is there might be some endpoints that might not be documented in the documentation, right? So yeah, that's also very important. Yeah, Habib, please, I believe you have something to add to this.
Yeah. I mean, I could just add a few, things. I mean, regarding what you said, I mean, I totally agree with everything you mentioned. And of course, it's good to like, you know, test things out yourself. And one way that you could, you know, I mean, I've seen or been on engagements where, or even heard about API incidents or, exploits where, like the documentation is outdated, and then even on the API OWASP API top 10 list, we have a vulnerability called improper inventory management. Excuse me. So this is basically when, like, the API documentation is essentially not up to date, or even when like the development team, they're you know they're unaware that they have zombie APIs, lying around, or even uh, yeah, zombie APIs. So zombie APIs are essentially APIs that are outdated and probably not documented. And there's another type which I literally forgot off the top of my head right now. But if I remember, I'll mention it. So it's always good to, like, test things out yourself. And one way to do that is by you can literally reverse engineer the API to create like your own up to date API documentation. So that's one way to go about it. But this method is pretty much tedious and time consuming. So in a pen test engagement, you probably wouldn't want to do that. Excuse me. You probably won't want to go for that option first. But I mean, if there is no documentation at the end of the day, maybe you, after performing OSINT or, information gathering, you're still unable to like find the documentation, then you might have to like resort to, performing like a API documentation reverse engineering. And this is pretty much, I think it's pretty much easy. There are a couple of tutorials you can find online on how to like reverse engineer an API to get it like an updated uh, documentation that touches or extract all endpoints and parameters and whatnot. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, and I think it's also important for us to explain that yeah, there are a couple of reasons for this kind of behavior, right? Because I mean, in today's world, like tech companies, right, move at very high speed, right? So yeah, it's easy for even the dev team to lose track of some functions that they've implemented or and probably pushed to production, right? So yeah, all these are possible, right? That's why sometimes some of these things might not make it to the documentation, right? And yeah, different ways
Mhm.
you could reverse engineer the API in order to find some endpoints, right? I think, yeah, it can be time consuming, and at the same time, it's not always time consuming if you think about it, and if we are to be honest, right? Because sometimes
Yeah.
just trafficking, just tunneling all your traffic through your proxy, or I mean Kaido is gaining more grounds now, or Kaido, right? Which I mean, if you've been following us for a while now, you probably have heard us heard us and seen us do this, right? Where we bring up our Bob suit, we turn on the browser, and then we just start filling the websites, right? Then click all
Yeah.
clickables, like Habib always says. Click all clickables, right?
Yeah.
And then you just come back, check your HTTP history, and sometimes you might see some API endpoints there that are not necessarily available in the documentation, right? But yeah, sometimes some endpoints might not even be integrated. No, not integrate. I don't think integrated is the right word. Might not be available. Yeah, might not be available on the application. What do I mean by might not be available on the application? I mean it might not be linked, right? It might not be linked on the application, so you might not even see any traffic relating to the endpoint. But then if you should carry out like manual enumeration, right? Maybe you just manually force for endpoints, or whichever tool you use for your over these endpoints.
Yeah.
Overall, documentation does not contain all the information that you. Oh, sorry, I lost you for a. Yes, I can hear you, Abib.
Essentially APIs that are outdated. So
Mm,
they're more prone to, or chances are like those ones are going to be more vulnerable compared to like the updated ones. So
yeah,
that's
sure.
just a, difference between
Yeah,
both of
sure.
them.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. Yeah, be asking like how is it possible that an organization and even the development team does not know about the existence of an API? Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, for
In their
sure. I
own
mean,
environment,
the
though.
very first thing is, yeah. I mean, it happens like, the web itself and, having multiple, applications and technologies that are intertwined. So you could basically lose track of like these endpoints or even APIs. And I believe you've mentioned this over the past couple of minutes, the very